Look,
Hey!
I painted the wall just for you. Plus I have an interview with Donovan after this. I may have just dated myself there.
Bring out your books, show us your goods, expose your shelf.
Shelf exposure from 49th Shelf.
My first book is Mosh Pit, Kristen Dinian. This one was excerpted in Broken Pencil back when I was like 15, and it just totally blew my mind, and I think I've used it on the list before because it's one of those books that I used as reference a little bit while I was writing mine, or just inspiration, and it was just something that totally blew me away when I was young. 1978 by Daniel Jones. This one was really special because 3 O'Clock Press reissued this book fairly recently, and the fact that I was so excited to get my hands on this book is the reason why I connected with 3 O'Clock Press, and then they published my first novel. So full credit to Daniel Jones for that. Yeah. Girl with Jennifer Whiteford. So fantastic first-person diary style recounting of riot girl movement, and it just totally enchanted me. And again, just another part of documenting musical movements that really excited me. Punker Than You. It's a history of a non-existent subculture of hardcore existing in a suburb of Scarborough. I tried to send this book to my young cousin after I first bought it, and unfortunately my aunt intercepted the parcel because the book contains some salty language. I don't know if we ever wound up reading it, but those are my punk fiction picks.
Please show us a book that begins with the letter C.
I've got The Canlit Food Book, which is a sweet find from Goodwill in Etobicoke, courtesy of my mom, Suzanne Sutherland. Wonderful woman.
Show us your most recent book purchase.
I purchased Personals, poems by Ian Williams at the readings for the Griffin Prize, and he totally blew me away, and I had to pick it up. I fought through crowds at the table, which was a really cool feeling when buying a poetry book.
He's a charmer, that one, eh?
Yeah, no, seriously. He was like, quite dreamy.
We're keeping that in. Show us a book that in any way influenced your decision to become a writer.
The Girl Like Sugar by Emily Collieri. It's like how people talk about seeing, their first punk show, and then they go, oh wow, I really want to do this, but this is something that I can do. The book was like really wonderful, but in a way that was somehow accessible to me, that I said, yeah, I want to do this. Mm-hmm. So like this was my sex business. The Ramones are cool.
Show us a book you've owned longer than most.
It was my grandmother's book, and my mom gave it to my grandmother, and then when her eyes deteriorated to the point where she wasn't able to read or print books anymore, she said, this is one that I want you to have.
We should all pass down some Monroe.
I think so. I feel like it's a solid family heirloom.
Show us a book with a cover that is mostly the color red.
We've got Stolen Sharpie Revolution handbook for any would-be zine makers, and since that's kind of where I got my start as far as writing goes, please inform. This is a good one.
Show us a book that reminds you of a place you know.
Roll With It by Heather Wood. So character, she's a derby girl, but she's going to the University of Toronto, which is where I went to school. So it's brought back some few memories, and clearly I need to make some memories of my own on the roller derby circuit. So that's on my to-do list.
Show us a book that makes you laugh.
Gotta be Jessica Westhead, and also Sharks. I think I hand-sold more copies of this book than anything while I was still at the bookstore. It made me both laugh and tear up in the first story, so that's gotta be some kind of record.
Show us a book that may not be the best known by its author.
Well, I stretched the boundaries just a little bit with this one and went with a comic book, which was written and illustrated by Evan Monday of Dead Kid Detective Agency fame. So this one I picked up at the Toronto Small Press Book Fair, I'm going to say in 2006. the Legion of Superheroes who save a kidnapped Avril Lavigne, and I highly recommend it.
Well, thank you for showing us your goods.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me.